Hello, my name is Josiah. I'm 20. I'm from the colonies of the United States of America, and I follow Jesus.
G'day, how you going? I'm Lily. I am 18 years old and I am an Aussie Christian.
Magandang araw. My name is Mikel, and I'm 23 years old, from the Philippines, and I'm a Christian.
Hey guys, welcome back to our Christian cross-cultural discussion. My name is Claire and I will be hosting today's chat. Joining us today, we have an American, an Aussie, and a Filipino, and I will be asking them questions about the topic of communication. Let's get into it. How many languages do you guys speak, and do you want to learn another language?
I speak English, of course. I speak Tagalog, which is my mother tongue. So I would say English would be my second language. So if I were to learn another language, it would be Cantonese, because currently I am living here in Hong Kong. And in my mind, if I were to reach out to the people of Hong Kong, if I had the heart of Hong Kong, I felt that it's very important to learn the language that they speak and how they speak. So there won't be any barriers or any challenges would take place.
Makes sense.
So yeah.
I only speak English, but I also would love to learn some more languages, probably starting with Mandarin, along the same lines as Mikkel, make it easy to communicate with people and share the good news.
My father tongue is English, as you can see. I also want to learn a couple languages for the purpose of spreading the gospel. I found out recently that Jesus spoke at least 4 languages fluently, and so I was like, you need to start doing that. And languages are cool, and so for personal interest, I also want to learn some languages.
Would you say your communication is direct or indirect?
Culturally speaking, it varies, but Australia definitely swings more towards the direct side of things, which I think stems from a place of wanting to honor people's time. Time is quite valuable, and so, by speaking direct, you're not wasting their time, you're just getting to the point. But the closer you get with someone, relationship-wise, the more likely you are to be indirect because you start to care more about their feelings.
I see.
For me, I think I would be quite indirect when it comes to communicating.
Right.
Like, for example, if I wanted you to do something, I would tell you in a way that it would be a question.
Right, yeah.
So, for example, if I wanted you to take out the trash, I would tell you, Josiah, would you like to take out the trash? Or in my mind, it's like, I want you to take out the trash.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want it to be, in a loving way. I guess that there would be bad sides and good sides to it. So, yeah.
So I could say, I don't want to take out the trash.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So Americans are very direct, usually, straight and to the point. So I grew up, being able to communicate in that way. But then how kind of my mom talks, but also like in our family and stuff like that, we can also be very indirect. So she'll also be like, Josiah, do you want to take out the trash? And I'll be like, no, Mom, I don't want to. But if you ask me to, I totally will. But then that's just like kind of situationally, I'll either indirectly communicate or directly communicate. But generally speaking, I try to be, quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. It says in James 1:19.
Are there challenges with communication in your culture?
I would most definitely say a yes to that question. Because you can say like whatever you want to. In America, it can be very hurtful or offensive, or like just like outright rude sometimes. And so like I guess there's that, but another thing that I more, I guess, have noticed is like how superficial communication can be, and that's I think along the same lines of where you can say anything. You don't kind of want to open up to people because they could like hurt you or something like that. And so it just takes a long time to get into a deeper, I guess, relationship or deeper level of communication with people. So yeah.
I'd say that ties in quite similarly in Australia. Almost to the first part, that because we're quite direct, people just say whatever. And it can be quite offensive. You know, you just say your opinion regardless of how the other person feels. So it's quite individualistic. There's a lot of a not my problem if you're offended attitude. And it's not really respecting or caring for people as individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, based on my personal experience, I've lived in Hong Kong for quite a while. So in that case, I would always encounter different people from different cultures. You know? So for example, when I was in high school, a lot of people in my class were from different countries. You know?
Right.
Someone from the West, someone from the East, but it's still different, like the way they communicate. So in that case, it would be, I have to communicate to them, you know, like, in the way that they would understand. So I always have to keep that in mind. So I guess that would be the barrier, the challenges for me when it comes to communicating. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
What is one common slang word in your culture?
We say howdy and sup, bro.
Interesting. What does howdy actually mean?
Howdy just means like, it's a shortened version of how are you doing? Or
Cool.
basically, so it's just howdy.
I always see it in movies, so it's just interesting.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it would be hi nako. You know, it's like a sign of sigh or oh my goodness. You know, when something happens. So, for example, Josiah, he has a cup and it spills all over the table, and I'd be like, hi nako. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that would be very common.
I like that. I need to use that. Us Aussies like to shorten everything, so words like mosquito become mozzie. And we're Aussies, not Australians, so.
There you go.
How do you communicate with people in authority and vice versa?
So, in America, and like I guess culturally Americans, we are all equals, you know? So how we relate to authority is kind of like more along the lines of equals, but we still like respect that person, you know, because like they could be our boss or like a policeman or something like that, so we respect them. But for me, I like to honor or respect authority, as it says like in Romans 13, like whatever is like due to the person in authority. So it's like whether respect or honor to like kind of give that. So it kind of depends person to person, but I try to communicate with honor, and I love that person. So.
Interesting. You brought up honoring and respecting. I think that's something that my culture can relate to.
Yeah.
So when I was back in the Philippines, my teacher would actually teach us to say the word opo, which directly translating to English would be okay, you know. But opo is a very respectful way of replying, like, you know, replying to someone when someone's asking you to do something or any of that, you know. So opo would be you're very honorable. You're honoring the person that you're talking to, no matter who it is. So yeah, I guess in that case, like you said, Romans 13, the Bible does talk about honoring someone who has an authority over you.
Culturally, it really depends in Australia. You know, for some relationships, it's very much like America. You know, you're kind of equals. In some situations, there's like a huge need for respect. Like it's essential, and there's very much a difference in the authority and the person under the authority. And then some situations, you know, I know people who, in their jobs, are super respectful to their boss's face to keep their job, but then when they go hang out with their friends, they just badmouth them. For me, however, like Mikkel and Josiah, respect is super important. We see when Jesus was on earth, he submitted to authority, and he's like the only person who didn't have to. So I definitely feel like it's important that I submit.
What do you guys like about communication in your culture?
I like that people are easy to talk to. I think, people are generally speaking pretty chill. If you need to approach someone that's a stranger, you usually can, and they're not going to be like, why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I would say, depending on where you are, it's generally kind of the same in the US. But what I like about how we communicate and how direct it is that there's not really like a hidden meaning. It's like what you're saying is what you're saying. Let your yes be yes and your no be no, as it says in Matthew 5. But it's like it's direct and like to the point and honest. So.
There's one thing in my culture that I really like when it comes to communicating, and something that really stands out, I think, to a lot of people as well, is we tend to, as Filipinos, point with our lips and our eyebrows. I know you're like, how do you point with your eyebrows? Like, you cannot hold it like that. So in that case, I would be looking to your paper, and I'd be like, Josiah, would you pass me your paper? Your paper over there. Yeah, exactly. So, we take that effort to move we're already moving our mouths to talk. So why would we put the effort to point, but it's just like we're already using that effort. And some people say, no, I do not do that. No, you do that. You do that. So hi, Mom and Dad, just to let you know.
Thank you guys, that was an awesome discussion. Well, it was really cool to see 3 different cultures come together and share their different perspectives on communication. Now, a few things were highlighted to me. I really noticed that communicating out of love was brought up in the discussion. Communication without love leaves behind an unfulfilled need. But communication built on love is a fruitful and a beautiful thing. This is really reflected in Jesus' interaction with his disciples in their daily lives. I also love seeing the heart all 3 of them had to learn a language to share the gospel. Jesus most likely would have understood 4 languages, and that helped him reach those around him. So I can't help but be encouraged by Mikkel and Lily and Josiah's passion to learn a language to spread the good news. Lastly, whether it is saying oppo or sir or ma'am, the importance of honoring the individual can be seen through the way we communicate. Romans 12:10 says, be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. The way we communicate has so much power. It is important to reflect on the way Jesus communicated with love and walk it out in our own lives as well. I hope you guys enjoyed being a part of our second cross-cultural discussion. Tune in for our next video coming up soon. If you guys enjoyed the video, you can like and subscribe, or you can leave a comment in the comment section. You can also follow us at our Instagram and Facebook handles, and the links for those will be in the description below.